Happy full moon, tarot lovers, May 2025. Four card reading here. Let's jump straight into it. First card, and we'll go in a little rotation for this reading. First card is this Eight of Swords, speaking a lot about our rigid thoughts, the beliefs that we are stuck in without realizing that they're beliefs that actually trap us and keep us tied up. And I think the key thing in this reading, or in this reading, but also this card, is that maybe there are some beliefs that we're holding on to subconsciously which are really holding us back and keeping us tied into some version of the past that we might experience in a way as, you know, life's lessons repeating themselves over and over again. So if you see yourself in a situation in your life right here, right now, that seems to be somewhere quite similar or energetically similar to somewhere you've been in the past, there may be some beliefs that you're holding on to that are rigidly grounded in your body, grounded in your habits, grounded in your way of thinking, grounded in your lifestyle, and maybe reflected in the people around you as well, that are fundamentally trapping you or holding you back from experiencing a more free way, you know, free thinking, more open-minded way of living. And there's something that is maybe asking us to be aware of, and maybe we need to throw that question out there to ourselves very simply and saying, what thought am I holding on to? What belief am I buying into that has brought around this set of circumstances, this set of lessons that I'm living right now in my life, that I haven't even understood or recognized as being stagnant ways of thinking, stubborn, stiff, rigid, old, non-related to where I am and who I want to be right here, right now. Ask yourself that question. Question a little bit what belief could be leading me to these set of circumstances, which is the same set of lessons and the same stories that I'm bumping into over and over again. What could that be? Because the next card that comes up is this Hangman reverse, which I often translate as this need to break away from the stillness and this need to release ourselves from a phase of transformation, you can call it, or metamorphosis. I often like to speak about, as this card, you know, reminds me of a caterpillar in a chrysalis hanging from a leaf, and how it's the metamorphosis of our perspective of something. So we're talking about the metamorphosis, or the great 180 transformation of one set of beliefs that seems to think that this is right and this is wrong, that this is good and this is bad, that I can't live without buying into those set of beliefs for whatever reason. We spoke about with a little group just now that got together and spoke about these cards in a more deeper level. We were speaking about how sometimes the thoughts that keep us trapped in the past and that keep us stuck and feeling a little bit stagnant are thoughts which correspond to the family, to the society, to the peers around us, you know, that make us feel connected to life around us, to people, to a certain close-knit set of a group of people that make us feel like we have a family, like we're part of a bigger whole, even though there's a deeper, more conscious part of us that knows that's not a healthy way of thinking. That doesn't feel right for me. And we might want to break free from a certain way of thinking, and at the same time feel afraid that breaking free from that way of thinking might disconnect us from the group, the set of friends and peers around us that might be more vested than we are to stay stuck in those belief systems. And yet this card, this 8, comes up because I think we are ready to recognize We are ready to take a peek past that blindfold and have a sneaky peek and see and become aware of the subconscious thoughts that are holding us back. And the Hangman Reverse speaks a little bit about this. These are 180 degrees. Are we afraid to flip some beliefs on their heads? Are we afraid to actually turn around? And this is a great challenge for us, to turn around and actually say, hey, maybe what everybody is telling me is right is actually not so right. Just question it. Just throw that question out there. Maybe, potentially, what my little echo chamber in my life right now seems to be convincing me is wrong is not necessarily that wrong in that way that I've been fixed in telling, because there's a liberation of our mind that these cards are calling for. And the next two cards, I'll show you them straight away because they're both fives. The first one is the Five of Swords and the second one is the reversed Five of Wands. And the fives in general speak about conflict. This is the conflict of our ideas when there's right and wrong, polar opposites fighting against each other and winning and losing, and yeah, let's get into that mental battle of what seems to be black and white in this world but never is. And you've got this challenge of the fire of how we butt heads against the world and different aspects of ourselves unconsciously, just because we're holding on to the beliefs that we think of what's right and wrong, and we wave around our passionate wand thinking that this is the best way to be creative, and we end up creating a little bit more collision with the world. Now, on one level, these four cards are speaking about the stuck nature of our mind and how that stuck, rigid, judgmental, right, wrong position way of thinking needs to be flipped on its head, and we need to be able to recognize that maybe our judgments or our discernment compass is a little bit off. Maybe that we're not really aligned with heart as far as our mind is concerned. And these fives have come to say, hey, feel the conflict. Feel the conflict that your mind is creating between you and the world and the outside. Is that what you want? Is that what you want to create? Feel the conflict that might connect you to one group of people but disconnect you from another group of people. Because is this what feels great? Is this what's really lovely? Yes, it might feel really good to connect to this one group of people, but does it feel right on a heart level for you to disconnect, create boundaries, judge, push away and disconnect from a whole other set of beliefs and a whole other group of people? Does it feel right to do that? And your hearts will not lie to you. Your head will. Your head will often say, no, it's good. We need to be rigid here. We need to be fixed in this point of view. Really? Do we? Do we need to be rigid and fixed? Do we need to ground our beliefs in one set of ideas where we are standing right now and not be able to move that and not be able to expand that? Because it's in this very linear, black and white, judgmental, polarized, mental way of thinking that actually stops us from being able to comprehend the 180-degree flip of reality, which says that heaven is on earth and earth is on heaven. That's that same different reality. It's that same opposite way of thinking, the same meeting of the paradoxes where our mind can actually embrace a different set of truths and say, yeah, well, maybe the opposite is true. And it's our ability to comprehend those opposites and really embrace those opposites and really give space to completely 180-degree perspectives and visions and ways of thinking that allows us to not just be compassionate to a whole nother level of ourselves, but obviously be more empathic and compassionate to a whole other set of people in the world as well that might not agree with us on some fronts, But fundamentally, what's really key about this is these ways of thinking are tying us down, are restricting our growth, restricting our sense of freedom, are incarcerating ourselves in a limited belief system, which will not feel ultimately, or not result in feeling ultimately very comfortable. And if we don't feel very comfortable, if we feel afraid, if we feel like we're in conflict, allow yourself to recognize it. Don't blame that conflict on what somebody else is doing, because this is just you creating more victim mentality, which you don't need to create. You don't need to disempower yourself by saying somebody else's decisions are influencing me so strongly, or potentially somebody else's ideas are so powerfully dominant over me that I give away my power of choice of how I am and how I feel and how I act, and my conflict and feeling afraid and feeling uncomfortable is not up to me, it's up to the world on the outside. All that's rubbish. It's always up to us. And no matter what's going on in the world out there, our own mental and emotional frame of mind and state of feeling is up to us. We have the power to choose. If we give away that power to choose, if we allow somebody else to choose how we feel, we've given away our sovereignty. And that's not a great place to be. That's always going to feel like conflict. And if we're giving away our sovereignty in some way and feeling the conflict, and that's what's rubbing up against these 2 5s, and these 2 5s are going, ah, go on, feel it, own that conflict, own the conflict. And owning it means owning the subconscious thoughts or beliefs that may be creating it, may be prolonging that set of discomfort, may be exaggerating that discomfort. Dare to believe that 180 degrees from what you think is right and wrong may well easily flip and be equally true. There's a challenge or two for this lovely full moon. I hope you have a great one. Please share this video if you like it. Like it if you like it, and share me some comments about what you might think about it. Much love to you all.